Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today I am still designing with the October edition of the Bargain Bead Box. So I know we have our new one in, and I love it, and I cannot wait to get into it, but my OCD will not let me get into that one until I finish this one. So I'm still working a little bit. I have a couple pairs of earrings I'm going to make, and then I'm going to be jumping into the new box. But today I'm going to make a pair of earrings with the October box. I still love the colors in this box, sort of. I love them separately, if that makes any sense. If you're not familiar with Bargain Bead Box, it is a monthly beading subscription service. You get $65 to $70 worth of beading supplies delivered to your door for $17.95 a month. It is a great deal. It's my favorite beading service, and I believe it is the best value of any beading subscription service out there. Along with your subscription, you also get a 30% off coupon to use in their sister store, Bead Box Bargains. You can use that over and over and over all month long on their already low prices, so it's really a great deal. And you can enter your creations into their contest on Facebook to win a $25 gift certificate. So yeah, I mean, it really is a great deal. I love it. And I usually get 10 or 12 pieces of jewelry out of every single month's box. So yeah, great subscription. If you're interested in signing up, I will put a link in the description box below. And if you use coupon code Wendy2, all one word, no space between the Wendy and the 2, you will get either $2 off of your first box or $2 off in their store. You can't use it more than once, so just one time. But yeah, so I will put that information in the description box below, and let's get right into these earrings. So what you're going to need are the toggle clasp rings from the box this month. You're going to need your blue beads, these blue rondelles, which are just beautiful. You're going to need the little green smashed rondelles, or smashed bicones, which I loved as well. You're going to need the bumpy spacer beads. And I have added in a few of my own bicones. This is kind of like a blue iris finish, and I just like the way it looks with these beads. So I'm using those. They're my own. You're going to need, and I've already put them on dangles here, but you're going to need a few of your little leaf beads out of the box. And I have a couple of extra twisted jump rings here, open jump rings from my own stash. And I have 2 eye pins, 2 fishhook ear wires, and some of these little 4mm, these are teeny tiny little bead caps, but I love the way they look on some of these smaller beads. And you're going to need a bunch of head pins that you can wire wrap with. And what I used are these ball head pins. They're very thin. They're great for wire wrapping. You don't have to do that. You can just make regular dangles if you want, but I wanted the little ball to show on the end, so I'm using those. So I've already made a bunch of my dangles, but I am going to show you here really quickly how to make one in case you're not familiar with how to wire wrap a dangle. So actually we're going to make 2 because we have to have them matching. So I'm going to take, let's see, what do I need here? I've got a lot of, let's do another blue bicone. So I'm going to take one of my little 4mm head or bead caps, and the reason I'm using these is because a lot of these beads will slide right off these thin head pins. The ball is not big enough to keep them. And I'm just going to put a bead cap on top and a bead cap on the bottom of this little bicone. And if you can see, this is a 4mm bicone, and see how the little bead caps look on there? They're just adorable. I love them. So yeah, and again, these are up on my website. We did get bead caps in this month's box, but for this specific project, I wanted to use these smaller ones because, like I said, the ball head pins, if they would fall off, the bigger beads would. Okay, so you're going to bend your wire at a 90-degree angle. Take your round nose pliers and make a loop over like this. So here's what you'll have. Looks like a little question mark. Then you take your pliers and rotate them up, and then you're just going to bring it on around, just like that. Okay? Then I take my pliers and I hold this, and you can either take your pliers, or I just take my fingers and do it because it's a small or a thin head pin. And I just wrap it as many times as I want to. I don't try to make it real neat. I think that wire wrapping, or wire wrapped dangles should have kind of a messy wrap to them. That's kind of the point. But if you want to do it neatly, you can. But I do not. So, and then we're going to do another bicone here. Same thing on the other side. So again, here's our little dangle. We're going to take it, bend it at a 90-degree angle, just like that, and then take the round nose and just go in, make your question mark, flip your wires up, or your pliers up, go on under, and just wrap, just like this. They're super simple. I'm usually not a fan of wire wrapped loops because I think they detract from your jewelry sometimes, but in this specific design I'm doing, I think that I want them. So, all right. So here we have all our dangles, and you can make them however you want. I mean, I've done them all different. So if you can see, this one's got the big bead with the bead caps. This one is, you know, these layered. So I've done them all differently. Whoops, I need to keep them separate. But I made a bunch. How many do I have here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 for each side. And you can do as many as you want, but I want it to be clustery. I want it to look, you know, big and kind of clustery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to open up my twisted jump ring here. He's a strong twisted jump ring. And I'm just going to feed these on. And if I have any that are too small to fit on, then I'm going to use a couple, I've got some little jump rings laying out here. I'm going to use jump rings. And it's okay if you have some that are too small to go on your ring, because the jump rings, when you use them, will just give them some, it'll help them lay a little lower and have some extra dimension. Okay, so I'm really not going to pay attention to how I put these on. I do kind of want to spread out my bigger beads. You know, like I don't want to have them all right beside each other. But it's just going to cluster up. And see, some of these I'm going to use the jump ring for. But yes, if you can see, it's just going to cluster up in just a gigantic little ball here, and that's what you want. Put my leaf on here if it'll fit. He may need, no, he'll fit. And then we'll do this guy. He may need a jump ring. No, he'll go. And I think he'll go. If he won't, then I can stick him on a jump ring, but I think he will. He did. Alright, so here's this one. So I think this one is actually the only one that won't fit on its own. So I'm going to close this up. Well, no, I'm not, because I've got to put it on here. I'm going to put it on the big ring, sorry. So just attach it to your big ring and then close it up. And these are a little tricky to close. You kind of have to bend them in so they'll, but there we go. And that's what I've got. Now, I am going to attach him. I'm just going to take my little jump ring and just stick him on there. And just put him right on. It doesn't matter where. Just right on the loop. Okay. So there you have it. It's just a cluster of cuteness right there. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So open up this ring and just start putting them on. And again, I'm not doing them any certain way. Normally I mirror earrings, but it's not going to matter in this at all. Nobody's going to be able to tell if they're mirrored or not because there's so much going on. So yeah, don't worry about that. And again, I think they're all going to fit on except for the one. Well, this one may not. Yeah, he's not either. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my bigger ring. Maybe. There we go. Did not want to go on there. And just make sure that these are closed up really good, these twisted jump rings. They're a little harder to close than a regular jump ring. And then I am going to take my little dangle here. I think it's the same one that didn't fit on the other one too. I must have, wow, I made them so small. They're little loops. And I have one more on this side that needs a jump ring. So let's do it. And again, I'm just sticking it on there. I'm not paying attention to where that they're matching or anything. So here's what we've got. We've got our two cute little just clustery dangly earrings. Now, we're going to make the piece that connects to the ear hook. I'm going to do a link here. Now, this eye pin is not going to be big enough, this loop, to go through here. So I'm going to create my own. All I'm going to do is cut that off. Then I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to bend this at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and go far enough up on here to where it'll make a loop big enough to go through that, and just roll the loop. And I think that'll do it. Maybe I made it big enough. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, that works. Well, maybe. Nope. Nope, it's still just a little too small. So I'm going to keep, because if I cut it again, it's going to be too short. So let me grab another one. Okay. Yep. There we go. They have to be fairly long if you're going to cut the loop off and make a new loop, but it's got to be long enough, so, or it's got to be big enough to fit around my... Okay, so I'm going up quite a bit more on this one. And we'll go even bigger with the loop. I thought for sure that one would work, but it did not. That'll work for sure. Not crazy about that loop, but let's see what it looks like. It may not matter. I may have to redo it again. Such is the life when you're designing on the fly on the video. Let me see. No, I'm sorry guys. I just hate that. It looks terrible. So actually I am just going to cut this one again because I think I'll have enough room. I want it to look good, but it's kind of hard to get just the right place there. I could have hung it from a jump ring, but I didn't really want to do that. Okay. What's going on here? Is my plating coming off my... Alright, this one does look better. Let's try this. Now the question is, can I do it on the other side? Even. Okay, that does look better. Alright, so now, I hope I have enough room left. I'm going to put on my little head pin, or my little bead cap. My blue bead. Another small bead cap, and then I'm going to turn bead caps upside down and do another small bead cap. I knew that was going to happen. And you can see that it does not always go perfect in the Wendy Whitman studio. And there's fuzz from my bead mat getting all over the place. Alright, there we go. So see, they're back to back with the smushed little bicone. Hang on to that real good because, you know, it will fall off as we just saw. And one more little bead cap, and that's what we've got. Okay, now I'm going to take this and bend it at a 90-degree angle before everything falls off. And I am going to trim this one because I don't want this loop to be quite as big as the other loops, that the loop I made on the bottom. It doesn't need to be. And then I'm just going to make a small loop. Just like that. Okay? And then I will take my fishhook ear wire. And I'm going to attach it right on. And this is a very long and dangly earring, and I like it that way. Now, what you need to do is make sure that it's facing the correct way, and if it's not, you take one set of pliers and hold the top loop, one set of pliers and hold the bottom loop, and twist them just like that until it is hanging just like you want it to be. Okay? And there it is. I love it, but I like long dangly stuff. So let's see if I can do the other side right the first time. So I'm going to go down my little eye pin here. And I have a feeling that's going to be too long, but that's okay. No, maybe not. Let's see what this looks like when we get it on there. So you can just create your own eye pin if it's just not, yeah, that's fine. If it's just not big enough for you, the loop isn't, just make your own. Alright, and here we go fight with our bead caps again. So bead cap, bead, bead cap. And then we'll do an upside down bead cap. These are so little, but they are so cute on your beads. And then one more, just like that. And if your head pin or your eye pin's a little crooked, you can straighten it up here in a minute. 90-degree angle. Trim this one down and make a small loop. Alright, then we're going to put this fish hook on. Just like that. And we'll check to see if it's hanging right, and it is not. It never is. I always have to do this, but again, just take your pliers and twist until you have it hanging just the way that you want it, which is just like this. So there are a couple of cute little earrings. I really like these. These probably are not going to go up for sale because I really like the way they turned out. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll have a couple more from October's bargain bead box, and then I'm going to move on to November. So yeah, like and subscribe to my channel, and if you have friends that do bead stuff, tell them about my channel as well. And I will put links for bargain bead box in the description box below, as well as my website if you're interested in the tiny little bead caps. So y'all have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.